I'm going to show you how to start inserting your content with doing some background image in your background and also adding some other things like footer links and some color in your divs. So we'll just jump in here, and probably the first thing that'll be the easiest thing to do is just play with the div. So I'm just going to mouse click right on that little spot on the edge and just basically just choose a standard color that I want to use for that whole entire div. So now I have a separate color just for that. To put in a background color so it shows through, that's going to be done through your properties. So go to Modify, Page Properties, and instead of using just a solid background color, you can come down here and basically choose an image, and the image that I'm going to use is this long skinny bar, and I'll just go ahead and click choose to insert that in and click apply, and that'll place that in there. Now one thing that's happening is it repeats itself, and I don't really want it to repeat. I just want it to kind of be a gradient and then kind of at this point just constantly be that red. So to do that, all you have to do is just go into this repeat and take off the repeat and just have it do repeat in the direction that you want to go. So I'm just going to do it on the x-axis and click apply, so it'll end. And then if I go to my background, click on that, and I'm just going to just kind of color pick it and try and get that lined up. So, and then that'll just kind of flow that in. So now as far as I'm scrolling, it looks like one big gradient and then just stays solid the rest of the way. Next thing I want to do, I want to add in a little bit of my content just to kind of see how far my page goes down. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my construction folder. So this is a spot where you might have some of your documents, some of your text. So I'm just going to open up my content page and go ahead and just maybe add a little bit of my content text. So I'll go ahead and just copy that from my Word document and then go back into Dreamweaver. And I was going to put that right in this slot right here, so I'll just get rid of that and then just go ahead and paste that text in there. So that's going to shove down my div quite a bit, so that's going to be a little tricky to deal with. So if I want to push that down a little bit more, click on my edge, and I'm just going to take my height and maybe try and bump it down to maybe about 1,000. And you can kind of play with this as you go. So I think 1,000 should be hopefully enough, depending on your page goes on there. So now I've got that. I could continue to add more. I'm going to cut this out of here and just paste this in that spot. If I want to center some stuff, you can click within the cell, and down here, if I click on my CSS icon, you can do things like centering the text within there, which I think I'll do. I'm also going to go in and just make that a little bit bigger by coming in, and instead of using, I'm going to jump back over into HTML and change my format to maybe heading 1 to make that a little bit bigger on there. And I could play with some color too. Maybe I'll just change that to just a generic white background if I want to kind of put in a box type of thing. So you can do quite a bit with that and add some layers. The last thing I'm going to do is go in and add kind of a footer. So I'm going to grab one more AP div and just kind of lay that in there. And right now I'm not exactly sure my dimensions, so I'm just going to click, and then I'm just going to go to Insert Image, and I've got this little graphic, this footer graphic that I kind of created in Photoshop, and I'll just place that in there. So I'll go ahead and just kind of place that, and I can play with the dimensions down there to just make sure it's just perfectly in there. And then the last thing I'll do, just right below that area, just do a hard return, and I'm just going to do another series of links. So I'll just go ahead and just do a home, and I'm just basically duplicating my buttons that I have up here, photos, and gallery, and stats. Actually, I think that was video. And to make these links, just highlight them. So I just double click to highlight them and then just type out where these are going. So this is my index.html, This one is going to be photos.html, and I'd continue to do that. Once again, I'm going to need to bring this down and kind of make sure those kind of line up. But just to see what this is looking like, let's just click and preview it in Safari. So now I'm starting to get a little bit more organized. I need to play with that a little bit to fix it, but you're starting to get the looks of your site and getting things really put together.